Good evening, everybody. How are we all? Welcome to round redemption bracket round 3 game 1s. Should be some really good races here. So we've got on the top Diddy versus Cross, and on the bottom we've got Raven versus Skarsnik. I'm expecting like two incredibly close races here, to be honest. We've got Raven commenting in SRL already that there is in fact only one letter word in the hash. So, apparently I'm slacking. We'll see. So this could be a jet seed, or Raven could be about to eat his words. I know which I'm going to hope for. So, before we get started, our runners are just readying up here. Before we actually get started, I'm going to give you a reminder to follow these guys. Get that out of the way nice and early. Do it now. I will obviously be reminding you to do that throughout the race, but you've got a minute or so to do it now. To steal a line from Cheese, these guys are giving up their free time to entertain you. The least you can do for them is click a button on the internet. Oh my. Sosovava Funatori, according to Cross. Yeah, we'll take that. That's the Latin version. Okay, runners are all ready. Skarsnik's timer will reset when he's ready to. Cross has just changed his stream. Give me a moment to fix Cross's stream. We have lost his timer. It is where it originally was, and I recropped. Ignore the furious keyboard tapping there. Just need to quickly sort this out, because otherwise, how else will you know how Cross is doing when there are only 3 other timers on the stream? Okay, and we want to be able to click on things. Can I do things, please? Not yet, it isn't. I will get right on that. I'm going to guess at some random numbers, and we'll see how that goes. Except it kinda doesn't want to work. Let me see if I can try something hacky here. Ah, there we go. Do it. Oops. Okay. So we've got that and that. Clearly not. Nope. Ah, apparently this timer has been there the whole time. Okay. How's that? Too far. Welcome to the wonders that are Restream setup. Presenting tonight by Swapspace. Okay, there we go. Phenomenal. So, we are good to go. Yeah, I love that bit where you just gotta go, what resolution does this person use? Because that's always interesting. Hey, Smokey, how are we? Okay, so runners are all ready. Just going to double check that they're all still ready. We've got 2 confirmations. A nice thumbs up from Cross. That's pretty cool. Fantastic. Good to hear, Smokey. Just waiting for confirmation from Scars. Fantastic. Everybody is ready. GLHF. Quit. Okay. So, in standard race start style, we have roughly 10 seconds and some stream delay before these guys get underway. Everybody is now ready. We have a Sova, a Foon, and a Totori. A Sova being the fiery dudes in Upper Norfair. A Foon is like a Namehe, I want to say. And Totori is the correct name for Mama Turtle. I'm sure Smokey can correct me there if I'm wrong. Eyeless Namehe, fantastic. I wasn't too far off, I'll take that. Now, interestingly, we seem to have matched stream delays on the left and the right. That's quite cool. So runners taking the standard sort of start here, Cross using the Moonfall, Scars using regular fall speed, and we've got Cross. Ooh, falls in the last pit there, unfortunately. Scars takes a fall in a pit. We'll see what's happening on the left-hand side. Do we have any Moonfalls? We do not. Diddy and Raven both using correct fall speed. Interesting. So they're the ones in Firefly Room. And we've got Ice to start. So that is Dark Validation already. I suspect once we've got this E-Tank, we're going to see all 4 of these guys turn Ice off. Because it really is a horrible, horrible thing to have on in an early game. You know, when you're going up the climb and suddenly, if you do the wall jumps, stuff isn't dead. It's actually just right in your way. Lovely D-boost there from Cross, gets it first time. Diddy and Raven picking up their ice beams very well synchronized. Scars using the intended use of ice beam there. Oh, unfortunately kills that dude. Is going to have to wait for the Gema to come round. Oh, that was unfortunate. Cross, we saw, picked up the first reserve there. Raven and Diddy also both using the intended strat to get, well, the randomizer's intended strat to get to that E-Tank. So we've got our first supers nice and early there for Cross. That's always nice, because you can end up spending so much time trying to find those. So to find them sort of immediately takes a huge amount of time off your sort of general search. Excuse mouse clicks, I am rearranging some things. So yeah, early ice, early supers, there we go. That's Cross turning off ice. So they froze a couple of pirates and then immediately into his pause menu turned it off. We've got Scars doing the same thing. Diddy moving very quickly here, on his way back up the elevator already. Still has Ice Beam on, though. We'll see if it catches him out. No, he's going to take the 2 shots. That's nice. Supers that Space Pirate, because, you know, why not? Nobody likes that Space Pirate anyway. And quite a nice climb there from Diddy and Cross. Raven making his way back across the pitless room. Scars not far behind him heading up the elevator. Oh, Diddy takes a hit there. Cross makes his way down through Parlour, about to enter BT. And we'll see if we get a BT fight. So to get this BT fight, what we actually need to see here is regular bombs. Fantastic, we've actually got a BT fight. So if anybody's unaware, there is an option within the randomizer to always enable this BT fight. This is turned off for SMRAT. But the way the vanilla game works is it leaves the door open behind you and doesn't activate BT until you pick up the bombs. So the instant you enter this room with the bomb item, BT will activate and the door will close behind you. And so that's what happens there. Usually we see our runners enter there and not have bombs at this point. So they end up going into there, picking up typically power bombs so that they can get out of Parlour, and not actually activating BT, so we don't see this fight all that often. We've got a lovely clear there from both Cross and Diddy. Raven's lining up for his fight now. Scars just heading into the BT room. We've got Cross checking last missiles and finds first missiles. Diddy deciding against taking the Alcatraz escape there. Alcatraz is actually a really tough move. It's something that a lot of runners make look super simple, but actually is an incredibly difficult thing to pull off. Raven goes for it, gets it first try, very nicely done. We've got Diddy taking a save, Cross heading back up Parlour. Now, we've got regular bombs that can give us access to Terminator. We don't yet have any power bombs. That's not such a big blocker at the minute, but it will be before too long, so I'm guessing all of our runners are going to want to try and find them. And we've got a gauntlet check from Diddy. Now, this can be progression, but it can't be what the game expects you to do at the minute. So within SMRAT logic, there are a few things that need to bear in mind. The first is that all that can be required in terms of movement techniques and so on is infinite bomb jumps, wall jumps, mid-air morphs and shine sparks in any direction. And we've got more supers there for Scars. So we've got a gauntlet check from Cross and Raven here as well. Very interesting that all of our runners have decided to take this. Oh, and Scars there looked like he was going to check the back of Gauntlet. Can't actually do that without power bombs. So, yeah, back to what I was saying about the logical requirements for Gauntlet. There are 2 parts to the logic to get into Gauntlet. One is getting up to Gauntlet, as in being able to reach the door and actually get into the place. The next is getting through Gauntlet. As far as SMRAT logic is concerned, you can get up there any way you like. That can be either shine sparks, infinite bomb jumps, space jump, or there's something else and I can't remember what it is. It might just be that, come to think of it. What can't be in logic is those wall jumps that we've just seen all of our runners do. And I actually missed what was at the item there. I'm too busy talking about logic. If somebody could fill me in, that'd be great. It'll look like a pack of supers based on ammo counts. Fantastic, thanks, Smokey. So yeah, we need a way to get up there, which is one of the 3 methods I just mentioned. And to get through Gauntlet, it will always be required that runners have screw attack in SMRAT logic. It can be done with regular bombs, as we've just seen. It can be done with power bombs. The logic will never force that for your progression. It will never be required in SMRAT logic. And so we have... Oh, we've got an E-tank and Beats booster at the back of Gauntlet. So Skars hasn't checked that. That's going to really hold him back at this point. Speed is very useful in so many places. So the first thing this is going to allow our runners to do is the intended way of crossing the bridge to early supers. We're going to see Skars head into that room now, I imagine, and probably do the mock ball. And we'll almost certainly see when our runners actually head down, they'll probably, if they remember they have speed, just run across that bridge. And that's what was originally intended within the game. So we've got an E-tank at the reserve tank location, a pack of supers behind it. Cross is opening that door into Turian, saving himself some ammo later on, and we've got Diddy taking that check for last missiles. So we know he's going to find his first missiles there. More supers in Rompopeo, I believe that's what he's called. Oh, Raven takes an unfortunate death there. Cross heading down into Greenbrin. And we'll see if he remembers that he has speed. Yep. It looked like he remembered last second there, but he did remember, and that's the important thing. Interesting, we've got Diddy heading back down here. I'm curious to see where Diddy heads, because I don't believe there's anything he can check. Oh, sorry, Old Mother Brain. Is Skars now orange? Skars is now orange. Phenomenal. Thank you, Smokey. Okay, so things are now very interesting. We have speed, we have Varia, and that's before we've even hit Big Pink. At Big Pink, we've got a pack of missiles there. Varia at early supers. Diddy... I missed what was actually at Old Mother Brain. I'm going to guess supers again, looking at ammo count. We've got Skars heading in towards the reverse spore spawn check. So typically you'd have to... yeah, that's unfortunate. He's not going to be happy when he sees that back. Typically to get to this item behind spore spawn, which is where you will get first supers, if you don't do the mock ball in the any percent runs. You would normally have to fight spore spawn and fall down a very long shaft. You can, however, manipulate the way that the game handles shots which are in flight. And what you can do there is bomb open this wall, which we're going to see crossproduct do here. So this is where you would normally come out from having collected your supers. And by lining up at the right place, you can shoot a super missile, and typically super missiles and any form of ammo despawn a small amount of time after they've been off screen. I believe 2 frames. If you line up correctly, you can get that super missile to end up contacting the block before it despawns, and so that block gets blown out. And it allows you to get to that back item without having killed spore spawn. So yeah, interestingly, still no power bombs here. Which means we can't see a wavegate glitch. Again, can't be required in SMRAT logic. It's quite an involved process. There are 2 setups for it, one with high jump, one without. But it is actually quite a difficult trick to get. We've got Skars checking the pipe missiles location and finds more missiles. Wow. Raven finds his Varia. So we've got a lot of Trump-esque runners right now. All very orange. Skars makes his way across what's affectionately known as New Bridge. So called because, well, you only need to hold dash to get across it. And you know, that's funny because noobs might forget. Haha. So Cross also hits Red Tower now. Skars almost certainly going to check. Yep, we're going to check the space location. Diddy remembers to jump and doesn't pay a visit to the Decora. Raven is going to pick up those missiles in big pink. Lovely deboost there from Cross. Diddy checking those missiles, also going to pick them up. And at space we have more missiles. Wow. Where are the power bombs? So the way the logic works requires that there is one power bomb pack, I believe. I don't think it's required that there will ever be any more. So when the randomizer is placing items, it will pick a location which is accessible for both. For all of the first missile location, the first power bomb location, and the first super location. So it's guaranteed that you will always be able to get one of those things. Now we've got Scars and Cross both heading in, going to do an early croc. Those were not words. They were words. They were not the right words. Scars and Cross are going to head in and do Crade. It's not particularly early. It's about when you'd normally do it. And we've got both of them heading through the... Oh, that's a lovely sync through that door transition there. You could see the difference speed booster made for Cross there, which Scars didn't have. It allowed him to catch up in that mini crate hallway. And we've got Diddy and Raven are still reasonably well synced as well, actually. This is pretty cool. We've got left and right pretty well synced. Now, we're gonna... Oh, Cross unfortunately missed the quick kill. Scars also missed it. That might give Diddy and Raven a little bit of time to catch up. Scars looked like he... Cross looked like he fell a little bit there. Scars also fell, you know. Commentator curse and all that sort of thing. Enjoy then. And there's our first power bombs at Varia Suit. Very nice. Okay, it's about time we found them. Runners are going to be very pleased. That actually opens up an awful lot. We'll see what our runners decide to do with that, because just the number of possibilities having that first set of power bombs. My guess right now is that we're going to see a full upper north air check in the hopes of finding gravity. We might even then see a lava dive from some of the more confident runners. If they can find enough energy to be comfortable doing that, we might well see them head straight down into lower north air while we're down here. Cross decides he doesn't want those missiles that are hidden in the wall, so you need power bombs to get to that first. Both Diddy and Raven picking up the missiles at Spacer. How come there's no perfect sync with all the players who aren't against each other? Yeah, it was just an odd quirk of how the restream happened. Honestly can't explain it. Because, you know, it's not even like they were refreshed in a certain order or anything like that. Yeah, I wonder at this point if Cross is pretty much considering himself in goal mode. I mean, for somebody of Cross's caliber, that's actually quite possible. He might want to pick up some... Nope, he's not. He's checking ice. That's not goal mode. I guess he's just incredibly quick. But yeah, for somebody of Cross's caliber, obviously Cross is incredibly well known within the community, and he has ice. The only thing he would really want is high jump boots, and that would allow him to do a full clear of Meridian and grapple, come to think of it. So maybe a couple other items, but he's not far off goal mode at all. He has Ice Beam to get through the Zebs and to get through Turian. Some way to get through Meridian will be nice. He has bombs, so he can do worst room in the game. Oh yeah, Scars' timer is something else. I actually don't have the words to explain Scars' timer, nor do I have enough let's say, substances. Oh, nice! We got quick kills there from both Diddy and Raven. We've got Cross making his way out of the missiles under ice location. Presumably something useless, because that was incredibly quick. More missiles. Okay. So Cross gonna do a check on the Croc Escape item. And we've got Supers there. And is almost certainly now gonna head up through Frog Speedway, possibly taking a save en route. Oh, he hasn't checked Hydro. A reserve tank, which he picks up, possibly not intentionally. Raven and Diddy both deciding against the missiles in the wall there. And at the high jump location we have Soups, very, very nice. And we've got a pack of missiles at the top. So nothing particularly special in this bit. We don't currently have logical access to wrecked ship, which is often a very good play in these SMRAT scenes, but in this case, short of a continuous wall jump, which is a technique you can use where you jump over the moat and exploit the way wall jumps work to continuously wall jump, and you actually clear the full thing. Yeah, currently Vari is actually out of logic. Exactly. So until we find Screw Attack, that is actually out of logic. Which opens up a few interesting questions. Possibly suggest that Screw is going to be at the top of Red Tower, maybe? Alpha power bombs, beta power bombs, PBB PBs are currently in logic because we had those bombs nice and early, and we did get the power bombs in logic, so that's possible. It might also be that Screw is at the moat itself, so you can get to that item quite easily, but crossing the moat is a completely different kettle of fish. And we have missiles in the missile location in Bubble Mountain. We've got Diddy gonna head through to Ice, Cross taking a save in Bubble Mountain. Very worthwhile. We're 20 minutes into a seed here. Races have been won and lost at this point. Just by taking unfortunate deaths, getting stuck in lava, taking accidental hits. And there are plenty of places in this game where that can happen. So honestly, very good call in my opinion from Cross there to take that save. Now, Cross going for infinite bomb jumps up here, which I believe is in the logic. So we could see our next progression item at... No, we couldn't. We still can't logically be here. But if Screw, for instance, happened to be at very nice powerbomb drop there. So yeah, top of Red Tower is about the only thing in logic at this point. Did he choosing to spark into that wall there? Picks up the missiles. Does this mean we're going to see a Croc check? We might. If he's going to spark into that wall, then he could be about to head down. He's certainly heading for Croc Speedway. Let's see what he decides on. We've got an E-tank in the entrance to the North Air Reserve location. I believe that's called the Brofist room. And we have... Ooh, Supers and Plasma at the reserve location and the hidden ammo location. And we're going to see a speed check from Skars. Just now heading into the speed hallway. Another interesting little tidbit. This is pretty much the only ramp in the game where you can arm pump all you like and you will never fall off the ramp. Because doing an arm pump. You'll see runners doing that all the way through this if you need a Super Metroid. The reason behind that is that every time Samus changes from an angle up or angle down location to neutral, or the other way around, I don't remember which, she actually gets shifted forward by 1 pixel. So it's not a huge amount in its own right, but over the course of a run that can really add up. Now, some of these ramps in the game are possible to fall off as a result of that. If you happen to arm pump at just the wrong time, you can be shifted forward by a pixel and suddenly find yourself in midair, as far as the game's concerned. And at that point, you will fall off the ramp, land, and lose all of your run speed. That ramp going down towards the speed location is, I believe, the only location where that can't happen. There's a very nice short charge from Diddy there. And we've got Scars is now going to head up and do his check for the reserve location. Cross going to do the speed check. Once again, I was not able to catch. Sorry, brilliant comment in SRL there from Cross. This game is back on my, let's say, heck list. So, yeah, sorry, what was at Croc's E-Tank location? I didn't actually catch that. Raven picks up his plasma. I also missed what was a grapple because I was too busy laughing at Cross. We've got Cross now heading in. Missiles, fantastic, thank you Smoggy. Grapple was soups, brilliant. We've now... Oh, beautifully done by Diddy. That was a phenomenal short charge. Cross picks up super missiles at wave. We've only got missiles at... Ashta, please! We've only got missiles at... I forgot what it's called. Indiana Jones. So Asda has just popped up in SRL for anybody who is wondering what I laughed at there, and commented perhaps you should swap it for another. Cross claims he's going into Link to the Past. Okay, so Diddy's making his way back out of Croc. Raven's starting his infinite bomb drums up here. Now, interesting thing here is our runners are actually investing quite a lot of time in checking Bubble Mountain. It's very interesting that they're all doing it. Presumably the fact that they have Varia and Speed has taunted them all this way. But we know that we can't have progression here. I'm fairly certain that what we have to see at this point, we've seen Speed. I'm reasonably certain that what we have to see is Screw Attack at the top of Red Tower. Whether top of Red Tower is alphas, behind alphas, betas, mort, or PBs. I'm fairly certain one of those locations has to be Screw. However, I tend to have a way of being entirely wrong when I'm on comms, so, you know, it's probably in Meridia or something. I don't know. Screw is not required for Lower Norfair. All that's required is gravity, Varia, and space jump to actually get up there. Screw itself isn't required. And IBJs into Lower Norfair can also not be required. Did he try and for some IBJs up there? So, Screw is what allows the logical access to Gauntlet. Now, what we had in Gauntlet was a pack of supers, an E-Tank, and Speed Booster. our Variasuit was at the early Supers location, which requires speed to be in logic. Everything that they've checked down here in Lower Norfair has so far been out of logic because they couldn't have logically got hold of Varia. Which means that... Ashton, please. Okay, and we've got some... we've got a gate glitch coming up here from Skars. So this is another interesting one. I know, Smokey. So this is another interesting ammo exploit. It's I guess a similar concept to the Spore Spawn super glitch. And the idea behind this is that when you fire a shot, your shot moves at some fixed speed, plus, cross unfortunately, plus whatever Samus's initial speed is. So if you are jumping, for example, and you shoot, your shot will continue to head upwards as well. Etacoons have not yet been checked, that's a good point. And yeah, Billy Mays and left of Morph. Is it not similar? I always assumed it was the same sort of principle in that... Yeah, no, yeah. Wavegate and Spore Spawn are the same principle. Gate glitches are not. Yeah, getting that block loaded and presumably also making that shot not despawn before it actually hits that block. As opposed to adding speed to things. Yes, I know shots disappear once they've been off screen for 2 frames, I believe. And if you line up correctly and fire a super, it continues to accelerate for its entire journey. And if you're lined up correctly, you can get that shot to land on that block within the 2 frames. Plasma was at the ammo location near Norfair Reserve. So we've got Raven and Skars both checking Croc here. Diddy doing his Bubble Mountain clear now, having already checked Croc. So the stationary setup is all just about, you're not actually adding any speed to the shot, you are just lining up in such a location that when the super missile accelerates off to the right hand side, in one of the 2 frames before it disappears, and it's despawned from the game, it just so happens to intersect with the super block. So if you line up correctly, as it accelerates, it will land on one of those blocks. Which, come to think of it, I've just realised that... So, might be getting into sort of a little bit of maths, but I think it's reasonably intuitive. If you line up Spore Spawn skip incorrectly, the super will go off screen. After 2 frames it won't have contacted that block, and it will just despawn and not do any damage. Yeah, so Crosshair going for a high jumpless lava dive, actually an incredibly difficult trick. So you'll notice what he's doing here is trying to chase this flame across, and he's doing a turnaround as he takes damage from that. The reason for that is, if he takes damage from that flame as he turns around, he's going to continue to turn around rather than being knocked back, because certain animations in this game are uninterruptible. So what that means is, if he takes that shot, if he takes that hit, as he's turning around, his animation will stop him from taking the knockback, which means that he can start the wall jumps while he has his iframes, and because he has the iframes, he can wall jump off the spikes without taking damage. I see him in a very precarious location here. Very precarious situation even. And I suspect it's gone badly based on SRL. Oof, that is very unfortunate. Yep, so that's a death for Cross. I don't remember the last time he saved. I think it was in Bubble Mountain before doing all of that clear. No progression in Lower Norfair, exactly. So I'm actually interested to see which of our runners heads up Red Tower first. So it looks like we're going to see Cross go back for his plasma beam. We'll see how much else he goes for. Diddy heading out of Frog Speedway. So probably going to be the first one to hit the top of Red Tower. Raven going for the IBJ up to Indiana Jones missiles. And we've got Scars as just green gate glitched his way into the X-ray location, the grapple location, sorry, where the rest of these guys did an early gauntlet check and picked up the speed. Scars couldn't do that. Scars didn't do that. And so sorry, I'm getting distracted by tech chat there. I find that crazy interesting. What was I saying? Things, words, please. Yeah, Diddy's heading upwards. Going to be the first one to hit the top of Red Tower. We've got Scars making his way out. That's what I was talking about, Scars. So Scars chose not to do the early gauntlet check. Perfectly reasonable decision. It certainly wasn't in logic. And because he didn't have speed, he couldn't do the standard jump strat. And so what he had to do there was either the IBJ, which I think Cross used, or he had to do the green gate glitch, which is what he did there. Did he please? Be good. Okay, Raven gonna try to IBJ his way out of Croc Escape. Power bombs there. It's our second power bomb pack. Has been quite stingy on power bombs this seed. Lovely IBJ there from Raven. Scar's making his way to Croc Escape. And Cross starts his Red Tower climb. So, you know, all in, 35 minutes into a run here. Cross taking a death. These guys are incredibly well synced up. 35 minutes into a run here, to see runners pretty much within a minute of each other in a four-way, that's not bad going at all. We've got Cross is going to do the early check as well, so that gives Diddy a little bit of time to pull ahead. Raven is going to blow up in the Meridia tube. That's going to prepare him to access it later on. Scar's going for the IBJ to escape Croc as well. Looks like he might be a little far left there, so we'll see if he can correct that. This is actually an incredibly tough one. I think personally I prefer the setup that Raven used, which is what Scars is going for now, which is to start your IBJ on this right hand platform and bomb across. If you start on that left hand one, you end up underneath the ledge and it's very difficult to get across. Oh, we've got a waterway check from Diddy. My favourite location. Is Raven going to go for the... Oh, wow. I'm quite surprised at Raven going for this, honestly. So we've got Scars giving up on that IBJ, unfortunately. Oh, and just missiles the waterway. So yeah, Scars gave up on that IBJ, gonna head back out towards Bubble Mountain and out that way. Curious to see how Raven's gonna get up here. Is he gonna turn his eyes back on? Yes, he is. Scars heading back out, but doesn't need a gate glitch this time, coming through this gate in the direction you're intended to. At Alphas we've got Supers. We're going to see a wave gate glitch here from Diddy. Beautifully done. There's more Supers. Oh, and there's Gravity at Wave. Okay, wow, that's interesting. Okay. What does that even mean for logic? Probably not much. No, that means a wave has to be at one of the locations we've expected as well. Smoky validation could be coming very shortly. Okay, now Diddy, very strong chance Diddy's going to head immediately back down here. That puts him well ahead of Cross if he does. More supers there for Cross. Oh yeah, everything's out of logic at this point. I lost sight of logic. About 3 checks into this run, I was out of logic. And we've got 4 runners. Cross heading back down Red Tower. Okay, is he going to check? Yes, he is. He's going to check Waterway and Wavegate. Now, both Diddy and Cross are excellent runners. I think if I had to put my money on one having better movement, I would probably go Cross. That's absolutely nothing against Diddy. Both of these guys are phenomenal. But, you know, I just think Cross is more experienced. So we'll see how that works out. Cross might be able to make up the time here. Got Raven making his way down into Alpha Power Bombs. Scars just starting his trip up Red Tower. Cross checking Waterway first, is not going to be thrilled. We've got Diddy for the second time going through Croc Speedway. Gravity was at Wavegate. And we know that Wave isn't anywhere in Upper Norfair. It can't be in Meridia. We know, I think it now has to be, along with Screw Attack, in either the Moat, PBs, or Blue Brim. So in that 5 locations, I think we've got to have Screw and Wave somewhere. And we've got Cross going to make his way up, do the Wavegate glitch. Oh, Space Jump has to be around somewhere too, actually. But Space Jump can be in Meridia because we can get to Gravity. Raven picks up Soups. Scars taking an IBJ. Gonna check Blue Brin here, so we might get some answers. Let's see what Blue Brin has in store for us. Raven gonna head back up towards the landing side, possibly towards the moat, we'll see. Very nicely done by Diddy. We've got super missiles to the left of Morph. Oh, we want to see a Billy Mays check? Yes, we are. Now, Scars actually needs to be... Nah, he's fine. He's fine. Ignore me. Oh, and there's our wave. So wave at the moat, which suddenly puts gravity in logic. Which means that technically Screw can be in Meridia, I believe. Because that logic then would be to head down to Grid, grab the first power bombs, head back up to the moat, grab wave beam, head into Meridia. Head into Wavegate, armed with your power bombs and your wave beam. Grab your gravity suit and then in to find Screw. So honestly, Screw could be anywhere now as well. And we've got synced IBJs. I love that. Raven gonna go check PBBs. The funnest location to see. I missed what was at Billy Mays. That looked like a missile pack for Raven. Did he go on for another IBJ? Actually, come to think of it, we could also have something important at Climb Supers. Oh, I see. Yeah, so that's what caught me a little bit earlier. When I saw that he had two. I almost said that he can't check it yet because he can't get back out, but he has regular bombs. So he only actually needs that power bomb to blow out the bottom. Then he can do a quick morph at the top. Drop a regular bomb to blow out that top block. And use a regular bomb to blow it out on the way back down as well. But people tend to either have Screw or plenty of power bombs when they do that check, so it might well be that he just believes that's a power bomb block. Perfectly understandable. So Screw at this point, I believe, can be literally anywhere on the map, other than the places we've already checked. Now we've got Diddy making his way in towards Ridley. Cross not far behind him at all. Might have a chance to catch up here if he has a clean worst room in the game. Now if I'm not mistaken, it is possible for him to get up here with a wall jump, but I think it's frame perfect without high jump boots. Highly unlikely that he would have ever gone for that. So IBJs all the way, I guess. Raven finds speed. Let's see if we get any reaction out of him. Nope, just gonna get on with the game. Pixel and frame perfect. Yeah, it's an awful jump. I've seen it done a couple of times. It's exactly the same wall jump that's required to get out of Plasma Room without high jump boots. The actual layout of the tiles is exactly the same on that left hand side in both of those rooms, just different art. So we've got Scars now heading in doing his gauntlet check. I'm fairly certain that's right. If somebody with a little more experience could confirm or call me an idiot, that'd be great. Unfortunate spark there from Raven. We do now have wrecked ship access with speed. Not logical access yet though. Scar's deciding against picking up those supers. Raven's going to check underneath the ocean. Diddy takes out Ridley. Very nice fight. Speed is logical access, yes. Short charges can't be required, but you can get that spark across without a short charge anyway. You can get that with a regular charge. We still don't have logical access to speed because we don't have screw. So Diddy is making his way out of Lone Warfare now. Cross is going to pick up an E-tank. We might see a high five. There it is. High five by the statues, very nice. Waves at the moment that can get grav with that is gravity alone access to wreck chip. Not alone, it's not. So gravity with high jump boots, yes. Because at that point you can head into the moat on the right hand side, stand on a ledge, and you can get a reasonably easy wall jump up that right hand side off the platform that sticks out. Oh, of course, reverse forgotten highway. Yeah, that has bitten us in a couple of seats. Yeah, I did forget. Okay, so we've got Raven heading into a Phantom fight. Cross heading into a Ridley fight. Diddy heading into a fight with some Foons. Possibly going to check jail. Yeah, we'll see what's there. Scar's checking PBBPBs. Raven deciding not to go for Nintendo Power Strats here on Phantom. Gets a nice little Doppler in there. Got maybe 3 or 4 shots off. Possibly, I think it can also be anywhere in Meridia, if I'm not mistaken. Vanilla Ridley being. Did he skip that? Raven not happy with Phantom here. Rightly so. Phantom is unpleasant. Gauntlet was a pack of supers at the back, and sorry, a pack of supers at the Chozo, pack of supers at an E-tank at the back, and speed at the back. I'll get there in the end. So we've got Scars also heading across to Wreck Ship. Did he clear and Bubble Mountain, having finished Lone Warfare? Raven just warming himself up on those blue flames a little bit, I think. Can get chilly in the wreck ship. You know, that sea breeze. Dilly took a little farm there, I think. Cross making his way past the 3 amigos. Diddy does a little farm on some PBs. And is going to make his way up into Meridia. And so we'll now see a Dragon kill followed by a Phantom kill. Hopefully no Phantom skips. I mean, they're kind of funny, but you know, it sort of sucks. So Raven has killed Phantom. Scar's just entering the wreck ship now. Cross gives a hug to a guy whose name I can't remember. Alcoon? Hey, Chase. No, they're all on the same seed. So it's Diddy versus Cross, Raven versus Scars, and both on the same seed. It just so happens that Diddy and Raven's timers are more or less perfectly synced. Cross and Scars' timers are pretty much perfectly synced. Raven and Scars have both taken similar routes at this point, and Diddy and Cross have both taken similar routes at this point. It's quite cool. I like this. Space at East Side Supers. Nice. Yeah, so Logic hasn't been the friendliest. Which I'm going to point out to Raven because he mentioned that I'd given them a seed that only had one 6-letter word in it for the hash. So we had Speed at the back of Gauntlet, we had Wave at the Moat, Gravity at Wavegate, Varia was at Early Supers. We still don't have Screw Attack to actually give us access to Speed. Yeah, and it's just been... Yeah. I'm sure there are words to describe it. I'm just not sure what they are. So we've got Diddy going in, doing a nice little bot-woon fight here. Happy little bot-woon fight. Just wants to make friends. And pop them in the face with a few supers. Raven checking the item at the back of wrecked ship here. Supers takes a reset by the looks of it. Yep, there's the reset. Cross unfortunately misses that wall jump up into Aqueduct. I didn't actually see what was at the location there. Did he run past a little bit too fast? I think an E-tank? Raven does have Wave. The trouble is, the first Powerbomb packs were at Varia. So everybody headed down, got those Powerbomb packs, already had Varia while they were down there, and so it did a full clear of Norfair. So what really needed to happen to get to the Wave Gate was to get Wave itself at some point and to have killed Kraid and then came back to Big Pink. I believe Cross is the only one with charge, yes. Raven checking this right side item in the attic. Getting these robots out of the way. Worst robots in history that only have legs and painful Cheerio shooters. Missiles at the right side location. Scars starting his clear. Sorry, Scars. I say Scars or Stars? I'm not sure. I meant Scars either way. Oh, nice attic spark there from Raven. Diddy getting a nice first spark on Dragon. Cross going to be catching up to him. We're probably going to see these guys in the same room. Now, Cross can also use his charge ice plasma shots, which is really going to help. They are definitely different entities. That's on me if I used the wrong name. I certainly meant to say Scars. That's a fair point. I've actually never seen Stars at all. So they could be the same person, who knows? Maybe. Anyway, that's Dragon down for Diddy. And the babies go to bury her despite what Jay will tell you about them possibly taking her away to be healed and return in another Metroid game later. Cross makes a nice attempt at this. a nice fight. Oh, Scars, that was unfortunate. Cannot turn around on those platforms at all. You turn around on those guys, especially when you're in the water. So this goes back to those uninterruptible animations that were mentioned earlier. If you happen to turn around on certain platforms, well, on most enemies I believe actually, you can drop straight through them without losing your fall speed. And I believe it's related to those uninterruptible animations, if I'm not mistaken. So what ends up happening is you clip through the enemy. In the case of those spikes, you clip through the platform because those spikes are actually enemies as far as the game is concerned. I don't remember what they're called, but you clip through them and you're then in contact with the spikes and you take a huge amount of damage. I believe it's a fully tank with just Varia. Kazans, that's the one. Thank you, Smokey. Scars also going to take a reset there at that item at the back of wrecked ship. Raven bailing out of wrecked ship now. We'll see if he checks Big Pink. We've got Diddy heading across to the plasma location. We'll see if Cross does the same. At this point, honestly, if I was in Cross's position, I would be heading straight to wrecked ship. I wouldn't be checking for anything else. Need some more ammo, but otherwise... Oh no, Cross has charge. Yeah, Cross is heading straight out here. Presumably Diddy is looking for... Oh, very nice. We're saying a forgotten highway. Wasn't checking plasma at all. I swear runners listen to my comms just to prove me wrong. We've got Cross heading up wrecked ship. Diddy possibly was going to check it and then decided against it because I'm pretty sure, well, you can see Cross is going to be hitting wrecked ship a lot sooner than what Diddy is here. Cross's route is a lot quicker to get to wrecked ship. So I actually wouldn't be too surprised if Diddy was going to check plasma and decided against it. Let me just get some cropping sorted out for Diddy's timer there. And Cross is... looks like he's setting up for Ocean Fly. Smokey validates in the process. That looks good. Oh, unfortunate. Fire that super a little bit too early. So that right there is a prime example of ammo despawning once it goes off screen. If ammo didn't despawn there, it would have opened the door regardless. However, because it was off screen for more than 2 frames before it got as far as the door, it despawned and doesn't open it. Scar's very low on health here, quite risky. We've got Cross entering his Fantoon fight as Diddy enters the wrecked ship. So Cross has taken the lead ever so slightly here. Also has Wave. So Cross at this point has the full beam combo that you would finish any percent runs with, any percent old route. And that is the most powerful beam combo you can have, excluding Hyper Beam or any of the glitch beams. So Cross, please. Oh, very nice. Okay, charge, ice wave, plasma does 900 damage per hit. and on certain enemies you can actually get multiple hits from plasma shots, because plasma penetrates enemies, and it can end up inside of an enemy after its iframes have disappeared. You can also make very good use of it to actually clip through enemies as well. I've got a reserve tank there under Wretched Preserve. And we've got Raven checking waterway before he heads for the wave gate. Just going to give Scars a little bit of time to catch up. Scars decides to pick up the X-ray. I think that's reasonable. Fan tune there down for Diddy. Raven is about to be really mad, especially given that he now has wave and doesn't have to do any glitches. And it would appear Cross also has high jump boots. I missed that. Where were high jump boots? Not even sure I'm watching this match, to be honest. I've missed so much. Raven. Ah, fantastic. Thank you. So Raven, please go check it. He's gonna go check it. Fantastic. Scars, Smoky validates. Diddy will be doing the same very shortly. Cross is now making his way down the pirate shaft. Will be entering G4 very shortly. And let's see what reaction we get. Absolutely nothing. Cool as a cucumber. We've got Scars heading down Red Tower. Hopefully going to remember to check Big Pink on the way. Needs to take a second to farm a power bomb from those guys. That is a good spot chase. Ghost, would you mind? So I just want to take a second actually to admire the design of this game, specifically the way it handles tutorials, and I absolutely love the way it teaches you to use items and stuff in this game, and how it lets you know what the items actually do. So power bombs, you pick up a power bomb, and alpha power bombs are where you normally pick up your first power bomb pack. And the first thing you want to do when you pick up a power bomb is think, wow, let's drop a power bomb. That's got to be awesome, right? And you drop it and a wall disappears, and you find another item, and that just really puts in your mind how much hidden stuff there can be in this game. I think that's brilliant. Another great example is morph right from the start. You've only got one direction you can head. You grab morph. You can't jump out of that gap at the top, and you have to learn to shoot that shot block out and roll underneath. Ultimately though, I think my favourite one is Plasma. And the reason I love Plasma is you've got the little pile of Puyos on the way in, and when you go into that room you have to shoot them one at a time, and you pick up Plasma and you realise, oh great, I can now shoot the pirates on the walls to get out. However, once you've shot the pirates and you're actually on your way back out of the room, you shoot the Puyos and notice that your beam passes through all of them at once. And it's just a really cool little, you know, no actual explanation, no written instructions. Just really cool. You're going to use this thing in this location because we know you are because you're human. And it's brilliant. Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going on a little bit of a nerd rant here, but I absolutely love the way the tutorials are set up in this game. Anyway, more importantly, Cross is currently in his Mother Brain fight. 20 shots required, as any old route runner will know, and probably a bunch of people who aren't old route runners too. So, Mother Brain has 18,000 health. As I said before, each charge Ice Wave Plasma Shot does 900 damage, which requires a total of 20 shots. After 75% of Mother Brain's health is gone, I can't remember if it's after or at the point of 75% gone, but one of the two, she will start firing out the ketchup beams, which do 100 damage each. And that's a handy number to know. Yeah, so Mother Brain's ketchups will do 100 damage with Varia, but do have the potential to do multiple hits. I think the most I've seen personally is 3. I seem to remember hearing of 4 from a single shot, so that can be a real run ender. And I'm sure anyone who's ran this game any real number of times, I didn't mean any real number of times in a disparaging way there, will have almost certainly taken a multiple hit ketchup which has cost them a run. Now, what we've got happening on Cross's side here is something called the stand-up glitch. During this animation phase here where the baby is refilling Samus's health and so on, typically you are crouched on the floor and the baby is latched onto you and you're unable to move or do any damage to Mother Brain until the point where the baby disappears and you gain the hyper beam for this final phase. If, however, you exploit the way that various checks are done to decide whether the next rainbow beam should happen, whether or not you can stand up, where the baby Metroid is, and whether or not you can actually stand up, which is dependent on your health, you can stand up during that animation and start dealing damage to Mother Brain's third phase before you get the hyper beam, and that can save you a reasonable amount of time. Oh, Scars doesn't have enough health here to do the full spark. That's super unfortunate. I mean, we know there's nothing important there. Oh, Scars. If he does decide against it, that's going to be something that's always on his mind. And at this point, we have Raven entering his Ridley fight as Cross enters Parlour. We'll see if Cross wants to come in for an interview. Hi, Amadeus Xeno 2. And Cross is going to join. So, Diddy now has Mother Brain down. So we'll be finishing very shortly behind Cross. Hopefully we'll be able to get Diddy in at the same time as Cross, and we can see what these guys thought of that scene. But Raven now has Ridley down. Only has Dragon to go. Scars finds his gravity suit. Yeah. And posts a message in SRL of let's go with hecking gravity finally, lol. And so we've got Diddy making his final escape. See if he would also like to join for interview. Okay, Diddy isn't going to be joining us for interview, he's off to bed. But GG Diddy, incredibly good run. Let me give Cross an invite to this Discord. Okay, and I am joined by crossproduct. GG. Very good run.
Well, let me turn my sound on. Hang on. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Yourself?
I feel like I barely scraped by with that one, honestly. Basically, I was tilted from Bubble Mountain all the way till I picked up Gravity Suit. I was just livid with myself and the game. Mostly the game, a little bit with myself.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That was not the kindest of seeds.
I don't mean the seed. I mean Super Metroid. I mean like.
Oh, okay.
I mean like getting crappy spin breaks and not. And killing that guy that I was trying to freeze, and then I didn't freeze him the next time, and then I tried to IBJ, but like, it was so my execution I felt was really bad. I'll tell you what, I was happy with my damage boosts and pretty much nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, you have those runs from time to time.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll perform better tonight because Diddy easily could have taken this one. I guess, did he go to wreck ship? Did he clear wreck ship?
No, you and Diddy both followed very much the same route. So early
ones
game
are upside down.
Yeah. Scars' timer is something to behold.
Wow.
So at one point we had an FF7 in there instead of a number. I honestly have no idea.
All
right. Yeah, so early game you pretty much all did the same thing. You all
I thought some people would go to wreck ship as soon as they picked, like, pretty early for sure. I guess I only found 2 power bomb backs the whole time. It was kind of a troll location for gravity, but at the same time, like, it was either go clear wreck ship or, you know, finish up what you missed in Brinstar and then go to wreck ship. I figured the Brinstar checks would be fast enough. And there were a lot of them too. There was I still had Red Tower, a handful in Big Pink, Edicoon's area, Retro Brinstar, Climb Supers. Like, criteria power bombs, there were a ton of Brinstar checks still there.
Yeah. So I tend to have a bit of fun on commentary trying to figure out what everything can mean, even when you've got full knowledge, and trying to figure out things like where screw was, because that would have given you logical access to speed, which was required for.
I didn't have logical X. There's no way. Screw attack's logically required to get through Gauntlet?
Yep.
That's
So
crazy. What?
because of the
Even if
way
you've got like
SMRAT
10,
logic works,
10 E-tanks and a power bomb pack, like a couple, like I feel like
so the
morph
first
bombs and a
time
couple
one,
E-tanks should be good enough. You know,
yeah,
even for a newer runner, but whatever. There are a lot of
yeah,
things that I don't know about the logic, which I'm waiting for the seed that kicks my butt because I misread the logic. Like a week ago, if Varia suit had been in Bubble Mountain, I never would have looked for it there. But then I
yeah.
learned the difference.
That's an interesting little quirk there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way the logic works for Gauntlet is you need access to get up there, which is either space, speed, or IBJ, and you
Right.
must
That
have
makes
screw to
sense.
clear it.
That
Um,
seems weird. I feel like 2 power bomb packs should be good enough. But whatever.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure, how it all works behind the scenes, but that's just the way we've had that confirmed by the Varia devs to be the way we're set up. So yeah, I don't think any of you, strictly speaking, had logical access to Varia at any point, because I don't think anyone's found screw. Which is quite interesting, but it has to be somewhere
Why?
reasonably
No.
accessible.
Why wouldn't you be able to get to Varia? Oh, Varia. I'm sorry. Where was that?
Varia was at early supers.
Oh, right, because Mockball isn't in Logic.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So yeah, there's I think pretty much everything that happened after Awakening Missiles really was out of logic.
That's
it's
pretty good.
pretty cool. I guess any questions about where things were or what other people did or
You know what I was actually looking for coming out of Norfair? I was actually hoping to find X-ray scope. Did anybody pick that up? Or did you
X-ray
catch that?
was at Wretched Reserve.
Oh, wow.
I think
Lame.
Scars is the only person who picked that up.
Yeah, after getting charge beam behind Ridley, I thought, oh, it would be nice to have X-ray scope now. But,
Yeah,
well, I
yeah.
see.
So
Did he miss the charge beam? That actually, what was the difference in our times? About a minute and a half? I don't think charge beam saved that much time, especially since it cost a couple of door transitions. The high jump boots,
well,
though, maybe.
so interestingly, Diddy was actually ahead coming out of Ridley, by about a
Oh,
minute and
okay.
a half
I'm
to
not.
two
I'm not that
minutes.
surprised. I
Um,
I actually this was one of those situations where I was starting to feel the nerves a little bit, and I knew it was going to be close. So when I got to G4, I minimized the chat.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it can really get you from time to time, especially
Oh,
like you say
y-
when you know that you're getting close to finish and it's going to be a close race. And
you know what really irritated me was during the baby skip. I shot twice to get that porcupine off the ceiling, and he stayed there and got in my way and ruined my baby skip. I shot like full wave plasma, 2 shots. I missed him, and he got in my way, of course.
oof, yeah, I despise baby skip, honestly.
I've been working on it, and I had I had some people in chat helping me out and understanding some of the nuances of it, and I've gotten actually pretty decent at it. But it's just that second jump's the one that'll kill you. Actually, I
Yeah,
made the second jump, but the third jump I bonked on the porcupine.
yeah. It tends to be the final jump that gets me. I don't know why. It should be one of
Uh,
the easy ones.
it's the penultimate jump. You actually have to run out a little bit farther to pull him into more of a horizontal motion. Are you doing that? Because that could trip you up on the last jump.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you get to where like the little seaweed is. That's where you want to
Yeah.
get, and then you run back to the right a little bit farther than you normally would, and that will pull the baby farther out and give him more of like a horizontal motion so that he won't get close enough when you do your final jump. So your final jump might be good. It might be the one prior to that you're not quite doing right. That would be my guess without ever having seen you. But
that makes a lot of sense, actually. Thank you. Yeah, we've now got an A on Scars' timer as well. Because, why not?
Hey, that's 10 in hexadecimal.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but it's supposed to represent a 2. Yeah, Scars. I love watching Scars run largely for that timer. So yeah, any final comments?
I'm just good luck to Diddy in race 2, which will be happening, I think, at 1 a.m. Eastern time tonight, so 6.5 hours from now.
Yeah, that
think he went to go
right.
take a nap.
I don't blame him. So I think
he might be the more alert one in race 2, so look out for that, guys.
Yeah, Diddy's Europe, isn't he? Like France rather than French Canadian.
I'm not sure.
I think
we can ask him. Yeah, during race 2, maybe he'll give an interview and I'll have to go to bed.
Nice. All right, cool. Well, thank you for coming in for an interview. GG.
Yeah, thanks for commentating, Swap, and everybody follow the everybody. And
yeah, let's
see you guys later tonight.
Yeah, catch you later, Cross. Okay, so we've got Scars making his way out of Lower Norfair. We've got Raven making his way out of Meridia. Not going to check Plasma. Not going to do any Forgotten Highway stuff. Game audio, thank you. Sorry, event. What am I doing? Have some Meridia music. So yeah, Raven making his way out, heading up towards a wrecked ship. Hopefully no Fantoon skips. Oh, gives the fish a hug. Raven. Oh. I love that fish. Scars finishing his escape from Lower Norfair, should be entering Bubble Mountain very, very shortly. And Raven, I don't know what I was talking about with a Fantoon skip, has already killed Fantoon. And I believe Raven is now good to head for G4, so shouldn't be too long at all. We're probably looking about 8 minutes from now, Raven's going to be finishing up. And a couple of comments in chat from Scars, simply saying, lol, ha, ha, ha. Presumably that was at the locations of Charge and High Jump. Just based on the timestamps on his messages. Raven did finish Dragon. I hope. Otherwise he's going to look like a right fool shortly. Okay, so Scars making his way backwards out through Bubble Mountain. Gonna head along Frog Speedway. Moment of truth for Raven. Did he kill Dragon? Yes, he did. Whew. Both already have Ridley down. If I'm not mistaken, Scars still needs to do Dragon. But otherwise both are ready for lone warfare. Are ready for touring. I know this game, honest. Doesn't seem like it. But I played it once. Beautiful Metroid Rune 1 and 2 from Raven. Scars makes his way out to Norfair. And strats in rooms 2 and 4 from Raven. Reasonably standard setup, works nicely, gets the job done. See if he goes for perfect art. Fine art, I don't know what it's called. Oh, doesn't get it unfortunately. Scars making his way through Meridia. Unfortunately missed the short charge there to get the Shine Spark. Raven is going to make a dash for the door, knowing full well that he doesn't want to go for that baby skip. That's correct, Ghost. Raven facing right, saving the 40 frames. And we've got Scars entering his bot-wound fight, going to be able to do a microwave kill here. This is a really cool thing, which exploits both the fact that plasma can pass through enemies and the way iframes work in the game. So by firing a plasma beam, it continues to pass through the enemy's hitbox. Now typically when an enemy takes damage and when Samus takes damage, you get what's called iframes, these are invulnerability frames. Frames in which you cannot take any more damage until they wear off. Now, what that means in practice for the microwave beam is that if you fire a charged plasma shot through an enemy that gets these iframes, and then you repeatedly use X-ray, the use of X-ray means that by the time the beam is next checked for damage against the enemy's invulnerability frames have run out. And so you end up doing multiple lots of damage with a single shot. And that's how the microwave kills work. So we'll probably see the same thing for Dragon here from Scars. And you'll see that he takes out the turrets as he normally would. He's then going to line up a diagonal shot, release it at the right time, and then go immediately into X-ray. And you'll see Dragon gradually get darker and darker red as Scars X-rays and un-X-rays. We'll see if he crouches as well. He hasn't. So a common setup in this fight to know when Dragon is dead is to crouch. The reason for that is when Dragon dies, Samus is forced into a standing position. And so you can see now Scars is crouched. And what he's going to end up doing is crouching down, getting the microwave kill on Dragon hopefully, and when Dragon dies, Samus is going to stand up. And so that's your point to know that the kill is done and you can stand up and move on with the rest of your life. Scars unfortunately looks like he's letting go of the angle button a little bit too soon. That looked better. Unfortunately only got a couple of hits. But Raven here didn't go for stand up, so currently waiting to be refilled by the Metroid the normal way. You might have saw there that Dragon decided to disappear out the top of the screen. The reason for that was if you get grabbed by one of Dragon's balls of goop, then she will start heading towards you to try and pick you up in most situations. If you destroy the goop that's attached to you during that phase, she will just leave. She'll just head straight up and get ready for the next swoop. Raven decided not to take lag corner. A choice I wholeheartedly agree with. So one option for this Mother Brain 3 fight is to simply stand in that lower right corner and just angle up and spam shots. The issue with that is that the hyper beam, when it's on screen, causes quite a bit of lag, and so if you just stand in that back corner and spam your shots upwards, they're actually on screen for quite a long time and cause a reasonable amount of lag. If you move forward just that little bit, they're not on screen for as long and they do less damage. They cause less lag, sorry. They do exactly the same amount of damage. And you're very welcome, Strot. There's a lot of sort of little things in this game like that that you pick up along the way, and they're actually really useful for things like randos or certain other categories. So we've got Raven heading out of the escape, just making his way into the climb. Gets that spark up nicely. I just realised actually I didn't give any official SRL tags. So we had Cross finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 12 minutes and 3 seconds. Diddy finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Raven finished third place overall, but first place in his own game with an official SRL time of 1 hour 34 minutes and 57 seconds. GG to Raven. I have extended the offer for an interview. We'll see if Raven accepts or not, and in the meantime, Scars is making his way towards Turian. Should be finishing up in... Oh, you're not wrong. Scars should be finishing up here within the next 8 minutes or so. Indeed. So this always makes me chuckle with Jay keeps calling Diddy D10kong and just ignoring the 10. But I actually love Diddy's name. It's a great little pun. So yeah, 10 in French, D-I-X pronounced D, hence Di10kong. Fantastic little pun. Okay, so Raven, as anyone who knows him would expect, is going to grab a coffee and then join for interview. Scars in the meantime is making his way through Turian. Fantastic. Oh, that's brilliant. So Scars clears Metroid Room 3 nicely, makes his way into Metroid Room 4, Gonna freeze these guys individually on the way down. I would have 4. I was generous. I think we only actually saw 2 of them, didn't we? Scar's gonna damage down here. Also not gonna go for the baby skip. So again, that's just one of those small time saves. If you take damage from the hopper there, then you have less health left for the baby to drain. And so you can get through this cutscene a little bit faster. You'll see a lot of hype and debate about people standing facing left or facing right during that baby animation. Reason behind that is that the game expects you to be facing left, and so there is a full animation of Samus doing a stand-up thing after being drained by the baby. That animation takes 40 frames. If you're facing to the right, however, there is no such animation, and Samus just stands up at full speed. So you will see mentions of saving and losing 40 frames as a result of facing left or right, and that's what it's all about. If you face left, you get the stand-up animation, it costs you 40 frames. Or 2/3 of a second. We've got Scar's going to reset. I had a little trouble with that first attempt at the Zeb skip. Everyone should do the hockey copy. Fantastic. Great fun. Scar's just got something I've never seen before in my life. Somebody clipped that, that was weird. So I clipped into the platform but underneath. Quite cool. And gets the Zeb skip. Very nicely done. Good. Scar's deciding that is just gonna spam Mother Brain from within the acid. Do anything. Mother Brain getting up super close with her creepy chicken legs. Thank you then. And you may have already suspected this, but I'm going to wait until the animation occurs. Skarsnik is forfeited from the race. GG to Skarsnik. It was a good run. See if Skars wants to come in for interview too. Okay, so... Hello, Raven. That was badly timed.
Yeah, that was very badly timed.
GG.
Oh, that was a seed.
Yeah, so I would like to draw your memory back to the very start of this race. You made a comment in SRL about there being only one 6-letter word in this hash.
Yeah, well, apparently you were tricking me.
What did I do? Okay, I'm going to pull Scars in here as well. Get you both in. Scars, GG.
Hello. Oh. Yeah, that's a thing. I waste a lot of time in Norfair for nothing.
Yeah, you and me both. I think everybody did.
Yeah, so what was really interesting with that is that right at the very start, you all took pretty much the same route. There was a few small divergences between some of you checked Gauntlet and some didn't, so Diddy and Cross both cleared Gauntlet and found their speed early. Scars, you decided not to check it early, and Raven, you took a death halfway through and didn't check it the second time.
Not halfway through, like 90% through, thank you very
Oh,
much.
that sounds
Okay, you... Fine.
I died at the last place. It's not
Yeah.
halfway.
Part of the way. Let me rephrase.
The worst, when I get the first power bomb back, I was like, I should backtrack to check the item, probably something good, and if I have found gravity, I will go to Ridley. Instead of taking a Crocomire and everything, I was like, where is something? Give me high jump or gravity or something to go lower than that.
I mean, that's the thing though, with where those power bombs were, like you were right by Norfair. Why wouldn't you check Norfair?
This is it, and I think that caught you all out because you all either did or didn't do Gauntlet, then headed down. Did Green Brin, obviously nobody could check Edicoons at that point. All cleared everything in Big Pink that you could clear without power bombs. Headed down Red Tower because at that point you had Varia. Found that power bomb pack, and you all then did a full clear of Upper Norfair. Like complete full clear.
Oh wow, nobody get back. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, every one of you did Upper Norfair. Obviously, two of the guys went through Frog Speedway. You guys went through Cathedral. Diddy cleared Croc and then cleared Bubble Mountain, whereas everyone else did Bubble Mountain and then cleared Croc. All of you had lots of IPJs in Norfair because you had no real movement for getting anywhere high.
Yeah.
It was an experience.
And that's the thing is, after clearing Norfair, on my way up Red Tower, I was like, okay, here's the choice. Do I go straight up to Wrecked Ship? Or do I go left, finish clearing Big Pink, and then go up and do Billy Mays and all those? And that would have really changed things if I had gone left.
Yeah. And then to have found Wave where it was as well, too.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, the logic for this was a bit weird in terms of how you could get anything. Because I don't know if you're both aware, but we, even right at the end there, we didn't have logical access to Varia. None of you found Screw Attack, which is required to clear Gauntlet, which was where Speed was, to be able to clear the bridge to get to the Varia suited early supers.
You just need Bomb to go to Gauntlet, but it's hard.
It's all you actually need, but as far as logic is concerned, Screw Attack is required in SMRAT, yeah.
So where was Screw? Was Screw at Edicoons?
No, Billy May, no?
I actually missed the credits, to be honest. None of you out of the Forerunners found it.
Yeah, I mean, probably nobody checks stuff in Maridia.
I mean, I did Billy Mays. That was a pair of missiles, so that was complete garbage.
Oh, nice. I wanted to go there. I was like, I only have 2 power bomb, 1 to go up, and 1 to go down. I was like, it will be hard to put a bomb at the top. That's so hard.
I mean, it had to have been at Edicoons. I don't think there's anywhere else it could have been.
No,
Smoky has just clarified in chat, and I almost want to vomit. Screw Attack was at Shack.
Oh my!
What?
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. Could have picked up gravity.
Yep. So it should have been with Crate to get your power bombs, into gravity, grapple. I didn't see where grapple was. But
no idea what.
Must have been required.
Well, no, you probably, after getting after getting gravity, with gravity and bombs, we had logical access to wrecked ship, which gets us space jump.
Yeah, but you still need to clear the grapple block to get it
Oh,
on the
true.
outside of pants.
Yeah, so
Oh
where
yeah,
was
gravity.
grapple?
Oh, grapple was at Mama apparently.
Ah, okay.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
I think we were all in go mode when we reached Maridia, I think.
yeah,
That was a messy seed. That was a
Especially
lot of backtracking.
especially after Ridley's, I was charge beam. Okay.
Oh, is that where charge was? Was charge
Yeah.
being Ridley?
yeah.
I didn't even
So
check.
You skipped it and Diddy skipped it as well.
Yeah, I was missing high jump and charge, so I will check this. Probably one of the two. Always
Yeah, I
something
did get
funny
high
like that.
jump, so that was nice.
Yeah, the second time I found high jump in this spot.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was.
it's a weird. It's one of those locations that tends to hold one of three items very frequently: either high jump, bombs, or charge if charge isn't at Ridley. Like
So
there
are
is
we
a hugely
doing-
disproportionate amount of time it's there.
Are we gonna do game 2?
No, it's kind of late for me. It's 1 AM.
Okay. Then we'll have
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to schedule it then. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That was a weird scene.
That was a very weird seed.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for that swap. That's all on you. One of these days, I'm gonna get one of these awesome seeds that I see other people get.
Not from me, you won't.
There was what, the one that Ben had where it was like go mode like 15 minutes in.
No, what?
Oh, that was insane. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy.
The one that had, what was it, space jump, screw attack, and something else all at high jump.
Yeah.
What?
So we actually had a seed that was run offline. We haven't announced the official time for it just yet, but it was between Mr. Guy Average and Kenny. And I ran the seed myself after I sent it. And the order of items, just by doing a standard clear, meant that like a 45-minute completion time on a blind run was perfectly viable. So it was like, obviously you do all the normal stuff, you head down Terminator, and charge was at the bottom of Terminator. You went in to do early supers, and like Screw was in there, and I think Varia might have been there as well or something. It was just one of these things where you just follow the obvious logic, and all of the progression was there.
No, that's weird.
It was really, really weird. So we'll be posting the links for both of the recordings for that in the participant lobby at some point. I would definitely recommend giving those a check-in because they were super cool to watch. And to make things more impressive, I actually ended up watching Mr. Guy Average's run in double speed, which was like a jet seed with incredibly clean movement in double seed is something you've got to experience. I cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. That sounds like fun.
Okay, so any questions, final comments?
Where was Spazer?
Where was Spazer? I didn't see. Any ideas? Smoke?
I didn't see it.
No, nobody picked it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably in
Okay.
Maridia somewhere.
Well, I'm going to go get myself some dinner.
Ah, okay.
How dare you, Smokey? Best beam. Who
Yeah, I'm
cares
going-
really, says Smokey.
I'm going in my bed to read some stuff. Have a good day or evening or good night.
Thank you for the race.
Yeah, it was a fun race.
And thank you, Swap, for running everything.
Anytime. Absolute pleasure. Thank you both for a very entertaining run, and GG's.
I will
Really
see
look
you
forward again
folks
too.
later then.
Okay, so one last call. Give these guys a follow. Give the stream team a follow. That would be me and Ghost. What? Let me push a magic button.
No, I think it's good.
WJG is not getting my follows.
Oh.
Sometimes the bot does this a little bit too quickly for Nightbot to respond. Follow all of these links as they fly past in your chat. And yeah, keep an eye out for Game 2 between all of these guys. So we've got Game 2 of Diddy vs Cross is going to be coming up at 1 AM Eastern. Raven and Scars will be scheduling their match at some point. Keep an eye out for that. That should be a really close one. So we've actually had 2 really close matches today. And at 10 o'clock Eastern time tonight, we have P-Toil versus Freya's Spirit. So plenty more action to come for you tonight. And over the next few days, tomorrow night, you've got me back to back against Hero 82. And then we've got Punk v Sephi lined up. For anybody who might not be aware at the moment, we are currently hosting only the second Outlast Glitchless tournament. We are the sole hosts of that. There is a game for that at 9:30 AM Eastern on the 4th. Check that out if you want some different content from Super Metroid, because we see a lot of Super Metroid on here, let's be honest. And yeah, keep an eye out for upcoming races. Strot has just posted the schedule there, if anybody is interested, and if you'd like to see more and be kept up to date, join those 2 Discords. The SMRAT Discord is what's being used for the remainder of this tournament. Any future events hosted on Speedrunners Arena will be organised in the SRA Discord. So, thank you all very much for joining. Scars, GG again.
Yeah.
And I will catch you all later.
Yep. See you later, people.